Welcome back. My name is AB Ridgeway, and today we are going to go over financial money advice that I found on the internet. As a financial advisor who served over 300 families and been in the industry for over a decade, I know a little thing or two about financial information. So today we're going to break that down and just see, should we take that information or should we just leave it on the internet where it belongs? Let's take a listen.
There are so many financial gurus and creators out there that rely on these harsh, judgmental messages, calling people dumb for their spending habits, shaming them for having debt, or acting like their way is the only one right way to manage money. If their content makes you feel bad instead of empowered, they're not worth your time. And here's the thing, I promise you, you do not have to shame or beat yourself into submission in order to change your financial life. You absolutely can change your financial life from a place of joy, from a place of ease, from a place of compassion and love. And so I'm just going to ask you to not settle for anything less than that.
All right. So this is a great video. I know that I was kind of laughing through the video and nothing's really funny as much as it is people calling people stupid. I do see that on the internet a lot. And the only reason I think that they do that is because we're so divisive, right? It's an either or thing. If you are logical, if you kind of split the pole, or if you see truths and even in falsehoods and falsehoods, even in truth, having a rational mind doesn't really do well on the internet. It's either with us or against us. And that kind of thinking, that kind of duality doesn't really do well as far as the algorithm is concerned. So I think that's crossing the line when you start calling people's names. But what happens is you have to try to get people's attention. And attention is very hard to grasp. But once you have that attention, then you can start going into more details and you go into some of the nuances. Understand this, even with a short, you only have so many seconds in order to really catch that attention, provide the information that's valuable enough for them to actually stay and listen. And that's the tough part about social media, because people are trying to outdo each other. So the bar just keeps going higher and higher and higher. Now, do I agree with how these gurus are approaching things? Yes and no. If you're a beginner and you don't know anything about finances, I don't think it's appropriate to call you stupid, because you're really just ignorant in the fact that you just don't know. And if you don't know what you don't know, I don't think that you should be yelled at for that. I think you should be welcomed in. I think you should be given an opportunity to grow and to understand. And that's probably why you're listening to this video here, because on our page, we give you an opportunity to grow. It's a safe space for beginners and even people who are more advanced and looking for some more advanced strategies. They also get that too. So it really is a good balance about hard truths, but then also compassion and understanding. Now, the other side is that if you've already had the information, you've had it for years, people have been telling you right and left what's going on, how to get it done, and you're still not doing it. Having this compassion and this soft approach, this kind of gentle financial planning, is not going to help people. It's actually hurting them. It's coddling them, because you're providing a safe space for delusion, lies, and excuses. And that is only going to dig them deeper into their debt, into their sorrow, into their depression. And you feel better because you don't have a responsibility for it. But the reason people are upset is because they care. They actually love the person so much. They don't want to see them in pain. And they understand by being passive is not working at this point, because I'm sure many people have already been passive, already been, hey, let's do a little bit better. Let's save a little bit more. Okay, let's not spend so much. At some point, someone has to say, listen, you are spending too much. You're not going to have a retirement and you are going to be starving. You're not going to live the life that you think you are. You're going to run up all these credit cards and probably claim bankruptcy and then tell everybody that the world is against you and you never had a chance. So stop it. You see that duality there? Now, it may work for some, it may not work for others. So for this person, I understand where you're coming from. I really appreciate your perspective. As far as financial advice, yes, I think you should take it if someone is a beginner. But if someone is more advanced, they've been working for years, they've already been introduced to all these financial topics, and they fail to execute, I think a little tough love is all they need in their final chance before people kind of lift their hands up and say, listen, you either listen to us and you do better, or you do it your way and you suffer your consequences, right? Your money, your choice, your consequences. Let's move on.
5 tips to save money that most people won't tell you. 1. Secure the bag before the girl. 2. Start saying no without explaining yourself. 3. Carry cash so it hurts when you spend. 4. move back home and save on rent. 5, never borrow for lifestyle as it'll cost you double.
He ran by a couple things pretty fast. I'll try to break down each one really quickly. But number one, get the bag before the girl. I know it's pretty short and sweet, but what they mean is make sure that you're financially stable before you bring somebody else into your world. And the reason why is because before you start a family, you don't want to start off in instability. You want to make sure that you can support yourself. You know how to pay your bills. You know how to earn income before you bring someone else in. Because when you get married, you're now going to be sharing in the income, but also in the debt. So if you're $200,000 in debt and you get married to someone who doesn't have any debt, that's not fair to them that they come into a situation where now they are kind of taking 10 steps back when they work so hard to get to where they are. So secure the money before you start thinking about establishing a family. Number 2, start saying no. You have to start setting boundaries. If you say, no, I don't want that new car. No, I don't want those new clothes. No, I don't want DoorDash. No, I don't want to spend that extra money that I have saved up for Christmas. That is going to establish your boundaries and you are going to be more secure in who you are and what you are. So there's 2 ways to think about this. You're opening up possibilities when you say yes, and you're setting boundaries when you say no. Unfortunately, people opened up so many opportunities, it gives more opportunities to lose money. Places that you're going, food that you're eating, you're just nickel and diming your savings all away. So you have to tell yourself no and have some self-control. Now, you don't have to say no forever. It's a delayed gratification. For every no you say to something, you're saying yes to something else. If you say no to going out, you're saying yes to saving a couple of extra dollars. When you say no to that new car that's $100,000 and you get one that's $70,000, you're saying yes to $30,000 extra dollars that you can put into maybe paying off your mortgage or maybe college education or a down payment for a new house for your child. All those things are going to be important. But if you don't know what you're saying no to or what you're saying yes to by having a financial plan, you're going to spend money all willy-nilly and wonder where all your money went. When you spend with plastic, you really don't know how much you're actually taking out because most of us don't check our bank accounts before and don't check our bank accounts after we go spending. But when you have cash, you spend that 20, you do check and say, how much money do I have left? It makes the unconscious conscious. Viktor Frankl had a really great quote that said, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And we can apply this to finances. If you unconsciously spend, you are a spendthrift. You are just spending money and you're losing out on your retirement savings and you are just draining all the hard work that you put in. But it's unconscious. You really don't see it. But unless you make the conscious and say, hey, I'm spending too much. I'm going out to eat. I need to stop. It's going to control your life. So carrying some cash, that's actually a really, really great tip. 4, move back into your parents' house. That's if you don't have an established residence already, so that may not apply to you. And number 5, never borrow for a lifestyle. Majority of us are spending on convenience. We are looking for a lifestyle that we can't afford and we haven't earned yet. And that's what people are doing. That's why the average American is in debt $100,000 because they are borrowing money for a lifestyle they have not reached yet.
What is the best financial advice you've ever received?
Invest in assets, not liabilities.
What is the worst financial advice you've ever received?
The way to build wealth is saving your money.
So true. 3rd question. What is something you used to value that you don't anymore?
Material things.
What is something that you think people think is important when it comes to money, but you realize that's not really the right focus?
Net worth. Net worth is a crap indicator of real success.
These are some really great tips, brothers and sisters. Money is not everything. You have to look outside of money for the value of this life. This life is not about just accumulating wealth, spending it all and dying. It's really about experiencing. But how we manage that cash or how we manage that wealth is going to determine the quality of life that we have. We need to make sure that we are disciplined, we have a plan, and we're investing into the right things. Cars are depreciating assets. Clothes are depreciating assets. Shoes, jewelry, they're depreciating assets. We invest in assets that are going to grow with us. That means investing into your 401ks, your IRAs, your other saving vehicles. Brothers and sisters, finances is not easy. But once again, it's about knowing what you don't know. I was recently talking to a friend of mine and he didn't even know about bank coverage, which is the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company that actually protects your assets for up to $250,000 and even more if you have certain types of accounts, which a lot of people don't know. So go take a look at that. So go look that up, the FDIC and the coverages for the different types of assets that you have. Brothers and sisters, what do you think? Is this some good financial advice? Has any of you actually used some of this advice and has it improved how you manage money. Once again, money is not just about earning money and spending money. It's how you manage yourself, your mentality, and your cash flow. All that's going to play a vital role in how successful you're going to be and how much you are going to be able to pass on to your children. Make sure that you subscribe and like. If you have some financial tips or some experience that you would like to share in the comments that we didn't go over today, please put them in there. We'd love to hear from you. It really helps other people understand how life is going to be outside the dollars and cents. Well, that's it for me. My name is AB Ridgeway, and I'll see you in another video.